Singapore just topped Asia on the 2025 Global Peace Index, sixth safest country on Earth. But it's also one of the most expensive cities in the world, with a Numbeo cost index of 90.5. So today, we're not ranking the cities everyone already knows. We're ranking 5 Asian cities that score well on safety and governance, but cost a fraction of the price. Every number on screen is sourced. Let's get into it. Here's how we're scoring each city. 3 data points, all public record. 1. Safety, from the Global Peace Index 2025, which scores 163 countries across conflict, militarization, and societal security. 2. Governance, from Transparency International's 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, a 0 to 100 scale where higher means less public corruption. 3. Affordability, from Numbeo's Current Cost of Living Index, which benchmarks every city against New York City at 100. No vibes, no sponsorships, just the data. Here's the list, cheapest to most expensive. Number 5, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Cost of Living Index, 38.7. That's less than half of Singapore's. Almaty sits at the foot of the Tian Shan Mountains, and most Western travelers couldn't place it on a map. Kazakhstan isn't a top-tier scorer on safety or governance compared to the rest of this list, and we're not going to pretend otherwise. But for the cost, you're getting a genuinely underrated mix of Soviet-era architecture, alpine hiking access 20 minutes from downtown, and almost zero tourist crowds. This is the hidden gem with trade-offs pick on the list: lower visibility, lower cost, moderate safety data. If you want a place almost nobody else is filming content in right now, this is it. Number 4, Tbilisi, Georgia. Cost of Living Index, 38.2, essentially tied with Almaty. Quick honesty check before we continue. Georgia straddles Europe and Asia geographically, so if you're a stickler for continental borders, feel free to argue with us in the comments. We're including it because culturally and in most travel classifications, the Caucasus region gets bucketed with Western Asia. What makes Tbilisi worth the inclusion? A local purchasing power index of 42.8, an old town core that's walkable in an afternoon, and a wine region, Kakheti, that's one of the oldest continuous wine-producing areas on Earth, an hour outside the city. For the cost, this is one of the strongest value plays on the entire continent. Number 3, Penang, Malaysia. Cost of Living Index, 34.0. Now we're getting into serious value territory. Here's where the safety data actually starts working in our favor. Malaysia ranked 13th globally on the 2025 Global Peace Index, ahead of dozens of European countries, and scored 50 out of 100 on the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, putting it solidly mid-pack globally and strong for the region. Georgetown, Penang's capital, is a UNESCO World Heritage Core packed with some of the best street food in Southeast Asia. And Numbeo's Local Purchasing Power Index for Penang sits at 79.4, meaning local wages stretch nearly 4 times further than in Singapore. Number 2, Taipei, Taiwan. Cost of Living Index, 54.8, slightly higher than the others and worth explaining why it still makes the list. One important caveat: the Global Peace Index doesn't separately score Taiwan, since the GPI only covers UN-recognized states. So instead of forcing a number that doesn't exist, we're citing what's actually measurable. Taipei's Local Purchasing Power Index sits at 86.0, one of the highest on this entire list, meaning your money goes further here than the raw cost number suggests. Taipei consistently ranks among the safer major cities in Asia by crime rate data, has a metro system most cities would envy, and night markets that make Bangkok's look like a warm-up act. Slightly pricier, but the purchasing power justifies it. And number 1, the best overall value on this list, Chiang Mai, Thailand. Cost of Living Index, just 32.7, the lowest of any city we covered today. Chiang Mai has a decade-long track record as a digital nomad hub, which means the cost data here isn't a one-off snapshot. It's been consistently low for years. Compare that to Phuket and Bangkok, both of which run noticeably higher on the same index, and you can see why Chiang Mai gets overlooked, despite offering the same Northern Thai culture, temples, and food scene at a steep discount. Lower tourist density than Thailand's coastal hotspots, a real local population rather than a resort bubble, and the lowest cost index on today's list. That's our number 1. Quick recap, cheapest to priciest. Chiang Mai, Taipei, Penang, Tbilisi, and Almaty. Singapore might top the safety charts, but it'll also cost you nearly 3 times what Chiang Mai does for daily living. Every source is linked in the description: Global Peace Index 2025, Transparency International's 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, and Numbeo's current cost data, so you can check our numbers yourself. Which one would you actually visit? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more data-backed travel breakdowns like this, please let us know.